going on? We're back on another one, so we're going to head out to the Mount Killicranky area today. We're going to go look for an old, long-lost lookout. There was an old signpost put there back in the 70s, so we'll go try find that sign and then find the volcanic dyke, and then we'll take from there. Anyway, let's get into it. All right, so we're coming in about 20 k's on this forest road. We just hit a bit of a roadblock, bit of a tree across the road. We should be able to clear it, just punch through, and then probably another 20 minutes or so to where we need to hike in. So there's the tree, so we'll clear some of this stuff and then should be able to drive over most of it. Slow us down a little bit. Look at him. He's my hero. Should be able to bounce over that. No dramas. Right. Alright, so we're just at Killicranky, the car park sort of area, not car park, the spot on the side of the road where you walk up to Killicranky. The track is just, the track's just up there. We've come in about 20-30 k's on this forest road, so we've just got to go a few more forest roads to get to the point where we need to find this old sign and then the lookout. So anyway, let's crack on. Experienced and prepared four-wheel drivers only. He's looking straight at us, eh? That is the third red belly we're seeing on this road, so we might have to keep an eye out for these fellas. It's decent size. Watch where you're walking. Anyway, we better leave that fella alone. So there's a few bloody out today. Yeah, that's the third one we've seen. I've seen a little green tree snake as well. So that's the fourth snake of the day. Yeah, it's literally a waterfall just right on the side of the road here, which is pretty cool. Next to a massive stinging tree. All right, so we're on the forest road where we want to be. We're parked up. We're driving for bloody 3 hours to get here. But yeah, this trail's gated off down there, so we're proceeding on foot. And due to the amount of snakes we've seen today, I reckon we whack the gators on. Yeah, so we'll get our pack sorted and whack the gators on, and then we'll start hiking. I think it's about 3 or 4 k's we've got to hit down this road, so not too bad, but it's a bit of a hike. Let's go. This place is bloody wild. Look at the size of those tree ferns. You got giant stinging trees, all the gums, and then just some wild bushman dude here.
I'm a wizard.
You're out of control, eh? Big old trees up here on the ridge. The size of these things. So I don't know if you can see that, but the rock's got like this metallic shine to it. It's like a slate type sort of rock. It's a bit strange. Pretty cool anyway. But yeah, it's everywhere. Get me whacking stick. Let's keep going.
That's crazy.
Mate, there'd be tons of them, eh? Coming off that escarpment over there.
That's on the other side of Coonawarra.
All right, I've been hiking along this ridge line for about nearly 3 Ks, so about another K or K and a half, we should be able to try and start looking out for this sign. It's a bit old and mossy and cracked off and stuff, so we'll just keep an eye out. Once we find that sign, locate that, it points us in the direction of the dyke. All right, this ridge track is a bloody leg burner. Yeah, it just sort of follows the ridge along, but just drops up and down elevation. And the ascents are brutal. So I reckon we're probably only a kilometre now, I reckon. So we're sitting at about 1,000 metres elevation at the moment. It is dead quiet, like it's eerily quiet up here. Right, so we've just come around this corner and there's the sign. That's exactly what we're looking for. It's a bit hard to read, but it does actually say Vic Fracky Lookout. So the old sign's a bit bloody dilapidated, but I'm pretty sure it's been here since the 70s, which is pretty bloody cool. Anyway, it's pointing in that direction, which is apparently where the volcanic dyke is, so we'll go off track and head through there and see if we can find it. All right, now this sign, the actual Vic Fracky Lookout sign, was marked by a fella named Cyril Gawley back in the 70s, I believe, who was directed to this place, not shown yet, but directed to by a fella named Bill Horton, who was a forester from Maxville, back in the 70s. So Cyril returned, located the dyke. I studied the geology of it and whatnot. I believe they returned at a later date with his son Fraser and daughter Vicky, and actually hiked down to the bottom of it and climbed right up through a crack and actually got to the top of the dyke, which Fraser recalls as being one of the most terrifying rock hops he's ever done. So Cyril actually named the lookout in lieu of a nearby trail called Kilprate, which is named after 3 early bushmen of the area, Kilmore, Provost and Taylor, but in this case, Vicky, Fraser and Cyril. So pretty bloody cool. Anyway, it's got me interested, so let's go try find this thing and see if we can climb it or send the drone up. Let's go. Yeah, it spikes everywhere.
No thanks.
So it's pretty easy going so far. It's fairly open, which it usually is at the top of a ridge anyway. So there's lots of rock and evidence of volcanic activity. Keep going out. I think we drop down a bit and then climb back up. Right, that is wild. Probably can't tell how high we are, but that is the edge of the earth over there, eh? That's nuts. Nearly at the top of this ridge. Holy shit, that's high. Holy shit. Jesus. So that is literally just the edge of a cliff. Wow. Shit. Yeah, man, that is just a proper cliff. Yeah, I reckon it'll be around the edge, around the end of the ridge there. Yeah, there's a couple of big holes back there too. Yeah, that's got to be a 300 metre drop, hey? It's nuts. Alright, so we're just going to try climb bum slide it down this little gully bit here next to the cliff, next to the outcrop, and see if we can, those big quartz lines through there. Yeah, and then see if we can get down out onto that sort of ridge. Should be a bit of a dyke over there. That's crazy, eh? Yes, I don't know if that's the actual dyke we're on top of or what. That rock is gnarly, eh? Just the layers of it. Right, so we hiked down from that top ridge point, about 100 metres or so, straight down, but
Down 50 metres in
I can go down again, eh? So now we're going to try and head out further, drops down on this little ridge and then back up, so check that out, otherwise I'll send the drone out. I think it's just trees.
That's just trees.
Because I mean, the end of the ridge and the highest point, we're on back up there.
Yeah. Think how much trees were here before the fire? Would have been a fire. That's what exposed that ridge again.
Alright, so we're starting our hike back up this rocky outcrop. You cannot get any further around the corner there because it's just a bloody cliff, which is what you saw before on the camera. And then, yeah, we've gone all the way out to the end of that ridge, so not exactly sure what the actual marked lookout point is, but I think there's a bit of a canopy clearing up here. I might send the drone out and send it around and get a look. back on the forest trail. We hiked back up out of there. I don't know, we didn't find like a defined volcanic dyke, like a defined peak or anything. But yeah, we went all the way to the end of the ridge where the highest point was. We even climbed down that, spent about an hour or so exploring around, but we didn't find an actual dyke that we could climb or get to the top of, which is weird. But I don't know, the geology and landscape might have changed over the last 50 years, and maybe part of that saddle used to dip down a lot more and you did have to climb up, but unsure. But we had a fair explore around. We were definitely on the highest point where the cliff is. I even sent the drone up and sent it around, but yeah, I couldn't see an actual defined dyke. So I'm guessing just the end of that risen bit at the end of the ridge there is the actual lookout point, which would have been probably a lot clearer anyway, like 50 years ago or whenever it was first marked and the guys climbed out there. But anyway, we had a crack. Still a bloody good adventure. I'll speak to Fraser a bit more and see if I can get any more info out of him on what else he remembers from back then when he climbed it. So anyway, 4 Ks or so back to the car and a long drive out of here. They're the old school forestry signs. They're pretty cool. They look like they're bloody hand painted. Alright, we're back at the rig. Decent walk, eh? Alright, we are done and dusted, so we're going to jet back out of here at the 30 Ks or so, back along this road, back to Waterfall Way, and then we'll go back into Bello and get a bit of food and drink into us. Anyway, thanks for coming along on that exploration. I'll try and find out a bit more about the dyke and climbing of it and whether we were in the exact right spot. Well, I guess we were. That's where the signpost was. So anyway, I'll find out a bit more and catch you guys on the next one.